yeah, let's get into this story because this is breaking news, actually. So yeah, apparently the Supreme Court has allowed President Donald Trump, and it just irks me to have to say that because there's nothing presidential about this idiot, but he's actually able to implement his ban on trans people serving in the military. The justices granted an emergency request from the Trump administration to lift a nationwide injunction blocking the policy while litigation continues. The court's brief order noted that the three liberal judges dissented. I want to know who voted on it. Now, the decision is a loss for the seven individual trans service members it's for the seven individual trans service members led by lead plaintiff Emily Schilling, a Navy commander who had sued to block it. Now, today's Supreme Court ruling is a devastating blow to transgender service members who have demonstrated their capabilities and commitment to our nation's defense. This is what Lambda Legal and Human Rights Campaign Foundation, two groups representing the plaintiffs, said in a joint statement. The policy has nothing to do with military readiness and everything to do with prejudice. That's absolutely true. Now, in a separate case, a judge in Washington, D.C. also blocked the policy nationwide, but the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit put that ruling on hold temporarily while it heard arguments on whether to block it more permanently. The court has yet to rule. Now, the policy announced in February is much more comprehensive ban than a similar proposal implemented during the first Trump term. It generally disqualifies from military service individuals who have gender dysphoria or have undergone medical interventions for gender dysphoria. This is what Solicitor General D. John Sauer said in court papers. So now, in asking the Supreme Court to intervene, Sauer said the judges are required to show substantial deference to the Defense Department judgment on military issues. Now, implementing the policy, the government relied on a Pentagon report from the first Trump term that said people with gender dysphoria are a threat to military effectiveness and lethality. Sorry. The challengers argued in court that the ban violates the Constitution's 14th Amendment, which requires that laws apply equally to everybody, as well as other constitutional provisions. Now, trans service members have shown in recent years that they can serve just as well as anyone else, the lawyer said in court papers. Then President Joe Biden had rolled back Trump's earlier restrictions. I should quote this before I even start reading it. Now, quote, an unprecedented degree of animus towards trans people animates and permeates the band. It is based on the shocking proposition that trans people do not exist. A federal judge in Washington state blocked the policy. March 27th said it is not especially close question. The San Francisco-based 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals declined to put the ruling on hold, prompting the Trump administration to turn to the Supreme Court. Well, that's basically what he does. It's like anytime he feels like, well, y'all go against whatever that I want because I put all these Supreme Court judges. And yes, he does have way more Supreme Court judges that he is, on his side than Democrats. So you got, what's her name, Katanji, and then two others. Whereas all the other ones are in his pocket, especially that old coon, Clarence Thomas, can't stand his behind. So you already know that they're gonna do his bidding. So it's like, y'all don't give me what I want. I'm just gonna go over your head and go to the Supreme Court. I really feel like there needs to be term limits on them and what they're doing. I think I also there was something else that I read earlier about pride and that sort of thing. So what was it that I saw that says Caroline Leavitt announced today that the Trump administration would not recognize June as Pride Month, nor would they approve any federal funds for the occasion. So it said President Trump doesn't feel as though spending $200 million on festivals and parades for what amounts to less than 7% of the population makes any sense. So, what is that noise? And it's funny how he's saying that, and he don't want to put anything in place for that. But I do find it thoroughly funny that he wants to have his own little parade, I think, to celebrate his birthday and wants to use our military. So I just find that stupid. I find it idiotic. And this is what we're going to unfortunately do. But it's only been 3 months? We got 3.5 years of this mess. I can't. But anyway, so that's the latest. And let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.